episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a multi-effects pedal. But before we get into the pedal and talk about it, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking the notification button so you know what we're up to. Your interaction with us helps us engage companies and get in what we like to think is interesting gear. Today we're looking at the Flamma multi-effects pedal. It is, I have to look real quick, sorry, the FC05. It was a stupid deal of the day. And I cannot resist shopping on the stupid deal of the day. And we've had experience with Flamma. We've done a delay pedal. Right. We've done an envelope filter. So there's a multi-effects pedal, the FC05 MOD.
Right. So what? 11 different modulation effects in here. So anything from, I'm going to read them real quick.
Right.
Chorus, flanger, trem, phase, vibrato, rotary, I'm trying to read them real quick. Liquid auto wah, stutter, ring modulation, and
a little bit.
So yeah, a whole bunch of stuff here.
And did I mention behind the box? You know.
Well, hold that up one more time though. Look how small the box is. So
right.
in case you haven't figured out,
form factor, right?
Right, really tiny pedal. We did their envelope filter that was about the same size. So let's just jump into it. We picked each picked four different settings. Found a tone, recorded something. We're not going to run through every knob and every control on this one. We just wanted to give you an idea of the sounds that are in this relatively inexpensive and small mod. So if you're looking to get a whole bunch, and actually we've done we did another bigger multi-effects pedal one time for modulation. That was in the inexpensive range.
Right.
And this is really good comparatively.
Yeah. I think every day, all day, they're about $40. And if they go on sale, they're even less.
So what's your first?
I guess I'll just run through the dial so I don't get confused because we recorded the clip. So it's the first setting. It's chorus. It's the first thing I turned on when I powered up the pedal. So this is what I did. I played it poorly enough that we won't get a copyright strike.
So for my first clip, go figure, there is a Leslie or rotary setting on here. So I picked that and played around with that for a little bit. Sounds a little bit something like this.
So that was this pedal's version of that Leslie sound.
Yes.
So I keep going around the dial. I went with the flange and did a little mashup of two songs that, again, were both poorly played well enough that we won't get a copyright strike for those either. But here's what it sounds like.
We haven't done a lot of phase pedals since we started this show, but it is something that's kind of on the radar. We have a couple, like, pretty good ones actually, but Not something I've spent a lot of time with, but I wanted to play around with the phase setting. It sounded something like this.
Going around the dial, but sticking with series that we've done, I went with the tremolo pedal, and I dialed up this.
So for the next setting I went to the Ottawa setting. It's not an envelope filter. You know, it is more of an Ottawa where you hear almost like somebody stepping back and forth on the wah as you play, and you can set the speed for that. I found it kind of fun to play around with, and this is what I dialed up. So for the last selection for me, I picked the Stutter, and actually kind of made it sound like a choppy tremolo because I do like that. But I paired it with the Barber Electronics Direct Drive and a newly acquired single cut SE, an old one, and this is what I played. I said I didn't have much experience with phase pedals. Well, what I really don't have experience with is a ring modulator. So I turned it to ring modulator, and I think this is a great selling point for this pedal, actually, because about 3 minutes after we started trying to figure out what to play with the ring modulator, my wife texted me, and I quote, she said, "Whatever that is, it's a no, sell it." That's so, gentlemen. It might be an awesome selling point. We kept playing the thing that you're about to hear.
Ad nauseum.
Yes, trying to. And she texted me again, and she said, "I feel like I'm in a nightmare, and the boogeyman is coming around the corner." And I responded to her, and I said, "Baby, get into my big black car."
So those were the 8 takes that we did of the 11 sounds on this pedal. This pedal I am currently using on a small travel board, just either the chorus or the rotary, but it works. It's a really inexpensive dive into 11 different modulations that you maybe never tried before. Like we were talking about ring mod, and there's liquid, and there's all kinds of other things.
Yeah, that
was the other one. Yeah, we tried it, but
that was wild.
Yeah, that one didn't pass the test.
It's wild. It was fun, but yeah. Anyway, you gotta play with that one.
But kind of the point of that is if there's certain modulation pedals or things you haven't tried, this might be a good way. Because the ones that we dialed up, they sound pretty good. They sound pretty good in the room, especially for a small form factor pedal at a price point of like $40.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and there's not I think the thing I was thinking of, not to extend this, but we had tried a bigger modulation pedal.
Yeah.
And the sounds are really good, but one of the kind of drawbacks maybe is a little bit of a latency thing. I'm not even sure we noticed that we were making the video so much, but over time you start to... Like that digital, I didn't feel that with this at all. So if somebody is going to ask, like, is there any kind of... Some of those digital pedals sometimes have that like kind of latency, a little bit, like just something's not keeping up.
Yeah, but just twist knobs, because there are certain settings that you get past noon on some things. It starts to get a little process sounding. But I thought we dialed up some pretty usable sounds and some fun sounds that we just explored a little bit.
Yeah. It's a great...
Going back on my board.
There you go. So with that, hey, we appreciate everybody that's watching, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, like Pat said in the beginning. Anytime you interact with the show, it really helps us out. It's a way that we can reach out, talk to companies, and get in cool stuff to share with you. So I think, other than checking out the website, if you're interested in some of the series we talked about, like the Leslie series, that Leslie Sound, or the Tremolo series, you can find all those videos there. And I think with that, I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.